When you think of equestrian activities in the West, the first images that come to mind are likely those of roping, reining, rodeo, and big, heavy Western saddles. Well, there are some folks here, mostly women, who take a lot of flack for their postage stamp saddles and for riding around and around in circles, or that's what it might look like to the untrained eye. Wyoming Signatures salutes a stalwart group of committed dressage riders who meet on a regular basis to hone their skills.
He puts his head down really low because he does it to be submissive, and it's kind of a pain, but at the same time he thinks he's being really, really good, so I think he's, because we did those things when he was a little baby, you know. I've done a lot of sports in my life, and I really think that actually this is the most rewarding thing I've done, because you form this partnership. It's not just you, it's you and this animal that's your partner who has to learn what you want and has to agree to do what you want to do.
There's better, don't jerk your right rein.
And every little improvement makes you so happy because you're like, oh my goodness, this big animal that doesn't have to listen to me at all is listening to me and working with me and really giving me their all. I mean, they get tired doing this, and with dressage, it's so subtle and it's so difficult for the horses and for the riders that you really even have to work harder together.
That's it. Now are you getting some response when you put your inside leg on?
Yes. See?
Good. Do it again. Down in the corners, ride a circle. That's all. The military developed this technique many, many years ago so that the horse and riders would move together as a unit. That's why I like the leg yielding, and so that they have to move their flanks over to the right. They'd move the horses over to the right or over to the left. That's yielding to the leg, moving away from the leg. Some of the Lipizzan movements, when they had to sit down and levade, that was so that they could jump over the foot soldiers. So it strictly comes from a cavalry so that they're controlling the horse.
The only way to improve your riding is to have somebody on the ground that knows what they're doing telling you how to make your riding better. Because otherwise you get into all these bad habits. And so Rachel comes up from Fort Collins, and a bunch of us get scheduled ahead of time, and we all take lessons.
Come on, fanny down. Together, release. Sit up tall. Super. Super. Now the canter age, just move your hips to the right, come with your inside leg. We're trying to get horse and rider to have some sort of harmony as far as aids are concerned, and teach the riders how to balance their horses, how to teach the rider how to balance on top of their horses. Of all the aspects of dressage and what I do, which is training, teaching, and showing, I think I like teaching the best. You know, anybody can get on and ride, but for me to teach somebody how to feel is very, very difficult. So what she wants to do is you put your leg on and she's like, okay, fine, I'm going to go sideways, but I'm going to go faster and I'm going to fall through that outside shoulder. Right, right. And you're like, no, you're going to stay at the tempo that I want you to do, and the half halts are going to go through to the right hind leg. But you have to remember that it's a matter of semantics and getting through to some people. And what I like to do is I like to say, well, what does this person know? If I can draw upon something that you already know, it's like when you were a little kid, scooting down the stairs on your backside. Now that's kind of a little bit of the rhythm that you have to have in your hips. You really need to be able to feel that back come up underneath of you, or that horse relax. And it's these tiny little moments in one whole lesson that develops all of this feeling that I've been talking about. And a lot of times that moment is only 2 or 3 times in an hour's time frame. But as you go on and as you develop, relationship with either your instructor or your horse, those little small moments start to get longer and longer and longer, and that's when you know you really developed something. If you feel like you're getting bounced out of the saddle, he's tightened his back. Keep asking, keep asking. Left flexion, bring his head to the left, move him on down. Up you. There.
Good.
Feel it?
Yep.
Good. That's the basic schooling figure. okay, for dressage, is a 20-meter circle. Let him go in front a little bit more. That's it. We teach the riders to ride on a circle, and we kind of cut it up into a pie shape. So there's 4 circle points in this geometric pattern. And what that teaches us is that we know whether the horse is equally bent to the inside. It gives you a gauge on whether or not the horse is falling in on the inside shoulder or moving the haunches, or they have to bend on the circle by stretching their outside and contracting their inside. So we're teaching the rider that if they put the inside leg on in the circle, that the horse is to kind of contract around the inside leg, stretch the outside. So when you hear me talking about inside leg to outside rein, that's what we're trying to create. That's why the arena has letters to it, because it's geometric.
Training 1, right? Yes.
The tests are all right-sided and left-sided. You get graded, so to speak, on your accuracy. So you've got to be able to get from point A to point B in a straight line or a curved line. And so that's why they develop all the tests, training level through Grand Prix. You know, and depending on the talent of the rider and the horse combination is the speed at which you get there.
It's not something that you're ever going to learn to perfection, so keep striving. You're not going to reach your goals probably, but it's always nice to have goals out there that you're working towards. So.
And when I see somebody have an accomplishment or develop a horse in the right way, sometimes I've just even cried about it. And getting through to people and helping somebody to develop that relationship with the horse, for some people that's a very, very important aspect of their lives.
It's one of those things that people always say, you know, it's really the journey. It's the journey, not the end point.
Good. And circle.